Hello, this is Agnish Bhaduri from Visitex Solutions and welcome to the blockchain series. In this video, we'll be looking at some of the leading people that I've selected in the blockchain sphere as of early 2017. Now, this is again a list of people that I have looked at, and this list can vary according to person. These are some of the most notable names that I've come across during my research on blockchain, and I'd like to share this with you. We'll then be looking at some of the interesting companies and their use cases for blockchain in a quick gist. So let's start with 2015's most important personalities in blockchain. The most important personality, and will always remain so, is Satoshi Nakamoto, which is the pseudonym used for the person or the group of people who invented the Bitcoin/blockchain technology. Now, his identity still remains unknown, whether it's a he, a she, or a group of people, as well as the net worth. Some people say that he has around 1 million of Bitcoins to his name, and that makes him one of the richest people today. Second, Brian Ford. Now, Brian Ford was an ex-White House senior advisor, and currently he's leading the DCI think tank at MIT Sloan Management School. This think tank comes up with out-of-the-box solutions to various problems, and Brian Ford has been looking at the digital currency phase. The third person on this list is Wences Casares. Wences is the CEO of Xapo. Xapo is a Swiss Bitcoin wallet, and it offers users the unique provision of having a cold storage and a Bitcoin debit card. What is a cold storage? A cold storage is a way of storing your cryptocurrency or Bitcoins offline. It is very similar or exactly like having a USB, taking your Bitcoins from your computer on the online network and transferring them to your USB, and then they are stored in that one device. If you have a large amount of Bitcoins on you, some people might consider it safer to store them in actual physical devices like pen drives, hard disks, etc., than to keep it online. And this is a provision that Xapo gives its users. The second benefit is having a Bitcoin debit card, a debit card that you can actually use against your Bitcoin wallet like any bank account, instead of having a mobile wallet. The fourth person is Vitalik Buterin. Now, Vitalik is probably one of the most famous and enigmatic personalities in the blockchain sphere. He started with creating Dark Wallet and CryptoCrit and was an author at the Bitcoin magazine. He was a cryptocurrency enthusiast, but the more he researched and the more he wrote, he started disagreeing with some of the features and functionalities of the Bitcoin. When he proposed these changes to the community, they did not agree, and thus he created his own blockchain-like system called the Ethereum. He founded Ethereum when he was very young, and he's still around 22 to 23 years of age, depending on when you watch this video. Ethereum is one of the most powerful, one of the most innovative companies that have emerged of late, and we will look at it in a different video. But it is one of the biggest public blockchain platforms that exists. Finally, Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong is the co-founder of Coinbase, which is a digital asset exchange company that trades Bitcoin and Ethereum amongst many other cryptocurrencies. Now, let's have a look at some of the innovative companies in this sphere. I've gone through many companies and their use cases, and while we will have different videos for the detailed use cases, such as the one we've had on the car leasing model by IBM or on Ethereum, these are some quick examples that I'd like to share with you, which I found really interesting and fun. What I found fun was the way that people are using blockchain today. The first example is Lazuz. The Lazuz example is really interesting. Its model is very similar to the barter system, and of that Uber. It is nothing but a platform for ride sharers, for people who can give a ride and for people who need a ride. The barter system aspect comes in because people who need a ride need to pay for a ride, and you can only earn money in the system by actually providing a service. So I won't call it an exact barter system, it just has a few similar features because we are still monetizing the value of these services. Now, what makes it different from Uber? This is a simple platform without any intermediary involved. The technology cost of Lazuzes are really minimal. So the cost of acquiring a new customer on board is not much, and that's why they can offer the service for a very low cost. So if you're a person who has a car, who either goes on a decisive route every day to work and comes back home, or is simply available to drive around people for now, you can simply enlist yourself as a driver on this network and post yourself as available for taking rides. Anyone who wants a ride will again state a requirement as a transportation from place A to place B. Lazuz will then match these requirements with the supply of drivers available and fix up a passenger and a driver. Now, what is the cryptocurrency being used? Lazuz do not use bitcoins. In fact, they use their own cryptocurrency called the Zuz. Zuzes can be earned by offering rides only. This way they ensure that not a lot of rides can be bought, and you can only earn from the system if you contribute to it. Initially they did sell a few Zuzes to get the system started. So the company was initially bootstrapped, but it did raise $115,000 from early bird sales for the Zuz tokens. The main people driving this company ahead are Shays Luf, Oren Sokolowski, and Aitan Kachka. As the graph clearly shows, the traction of this concept is increasing, as shown by the number of page views per user in December 2016. The next company is Ujo Music. Before we get into what Ujo Music does, let me discuss why it is so relevant and why I have chosen this company for this presentation. The music industry has been on the decline since the 1980s. Ever since the introduction of the internet, which allows information to be duplicated, music industry has been losing out on sales, especially because of things like torrents. Music can simply be duplicated and redistributed for free. Even if you purchase a song, you can simply copy it and redistribute it amongst your peers, either online through torrents or offline through pen drives, etc. We've all done it. And this has hurt the music industry a lot. Artists and production houses are no longer compensated. The first form of a solution came up with the introduction of services like Apple Music and Spotify. But these still aren't enough. Apple Music and Spotify take a huge charge for the services, and most artists only make money when they have more than, say, 1 million views. So although these services have tried to fix the existing system by ensuring that we are always paying for music, the current business model asks you just to pay a minimal monthly subscription charge for an unlimited database of music. Apple will then pay the artists based on the number of views or streams. The streaming applications are a band-aid solution. They have raised additional revenue and have recovered the music industry a bit, but a lot more is required. And for ages, many companies have been thinking of a solution. One of the solutions is that provided by Ujo Music. And this company is still in the brainstorming stage. They're still developing their proof of concept, but I think their usage of blockchain is really interesting. And if they can use blockchain to actually solve the problem of the music industry, it is going to be an epic new invention. So how do they try to solve it? They try to mend inefficiencies in the music industry by providing artists a platform to share their music and get paid in cryptocurrencies. It is fairly simple. You list your music and your song and your information on the blockchain network. This means that every time I want to listen to a particular song by a particular artist, I need to pay that particular artist. And the money will always go to the original artist or production house. Through blockchain, the digital media rights is another thing that Ujo Music wants to enhance. The blockchain will ensure that only the original singer, the artist, the production house have those digital media rights, and that these records are not falsified or duplicated. Thus, any money that is raised from either the Ujo Music platform or any other streaming platform will always go to the deserving or the original artist and production house. So Ujo Music essentially brings about two value additions. One, it can create a system where you're paying for a particular artist every time you listen to that song. And second, it will increase, after increasing revenues, it will also ensure that your digital media rights are safe. That if you make a song, no one can duplicate and present it as their own. So these are two of the biggest value additions that the Ujo Music model can bring about, but only time will tell how successful they will be. You can have a quick look at the key people involved, including Gabe Tumlos from product right up to Sam Kasat in strategy. Go through this company on the internet. Their use case is really interesting to read about. Now finally, the most successful of these three examples, Everledger. Everledger, which was previously called Blocktrace, provided an immutable ledger for diamond identification and transaction verification for various stakeholders, right from insurance companies to claimants and law enforcement agencies. This is a very similar use case to the one we saw in the IBM model. Now, let us again introduce or get acquainted with the problem. The diamond industry is another industry where there's a lack of paperwork and sophistication. The source of these diamonds can either be legitimate or they can be blood diamonds. That is, diamonds achieved through conflict, war and bloodshed. Next, these diamonds have to be transferred to an actual manufacturer for cutting, giving it that look, and then sold through a retailer. In this entire process, we need to ensure that the diamonds you are buying are not blood diamonds and have a clean history. Same time, the diamond needs to be insured and the actual owner of the diamond should have a legitimate claim on that stone. Everledger ensures all of this. On a public blockchain platform, it will maintain the record of from which mine the diamond was extracted, whether it was extracted by legitimate means. If it doesn't exist in the system, then one can be doubtful that it is a blood diamond. So if it is legitimate diamond, it enters the system. Then it passes on to the next owner, the manufacturer, the retailer of these diamonds. Then from one owner to another owner, including with details about the insurance companies, when the diamond was mined, etc. So now when you buy a diamond, you have a complete history of that stone and you can be assured that there is no conflict or any other issues associated with that stone, and that you can genuinely be the next rightful owner. Once you purchase that diamond, the records for that particular stone are updated. So these are some of the interesting examples that we've seen today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is Agnish Bhaduri. Thank you.